that you would like me to take a look at. And lastly, I would like to read a few articles that you can possibly look as well by yourself. So let's get started. I would actually like to start by taking a look at what we're seeing right now, and then would like me to take a look at the live stream, copying the URL and placing it on the Twitter page so people can actually join us. So start it. I would actually like to start by so that would be amazing for me right now. Sorry for the inconvenience. Perfect. So let's get started on YouTube right now. And what I would like to show you is actually not just my page, but as well I would like to show you the video that I uploaded this morning, and that is just a couple of minutes ago, I mean, and that is the Polkadot video that is actually going to show you all insights of the Polkadot chart. And let's take a look at the possible scenario right now. So if we take a look at the BTC, and what I actually opened up right now is the weekly time frame, but I would like to take a look at the daily time frame before, is something I think is very, very special, and that is the bull market support band. So you could see that already on the weekly time frame that we have seen a crossover occur on the Bitcoin chart. This happened actually yesterday, and I think, oh sorry, no, this happened a week ago on the 23rd of August. So after that point in time, I already thought that we would see a major increase, but right now what I think is even more important is the daily time frame, and that is actually where I'm waiting for. So right now it's not only the regular market that's going up, but we're also seeing something I think is very, very important, because that is the bull market support band that is seeing a crossover of the 20-week SMA and the 20-week EMA. And when this crossover occurs, most of the times we see a major increase in Bitcoin's price action, and I think this is very likely to occur afterwards. If we see a crossover of the bull market support band, we might head straight back up, and that would be absolutely amazing. Therefore, I would like to show you the previous crossover of the bull market support band, and that was actually once we broke towards the downside. We saw very clearly a crossover of the bull market support band, and after that period in time we went up for a slight period in time. Afterwards we broke all the way towards the downside, and what you can clearly see is that we right now have been trading underneath the bull market support band for a while before we were heading straight back up, and once again seeing the crossover occur towards a level of support instead of a major resistance above the price action of Bitcoin. So if we take a look at the past, when you can see that the last major crossover of the bull market support band occurred was actually at this point in time on the 22nd of October of 2020. And this is for me an extraordinary place to actually take a look at very closely, because if we take a look at the 22nd of October all the way towards the prior all-time high on the 16th of May, you can see that Bitcoin had an increase in its price action. Let's take a look. This is the 22nd of October. I'm very sorry, my bad. I did not want to enable the trend line. I wanted to enable the price action. So on this 22nd of October, I would like to select right over there, all the way towards its all-time high. You could see clearly that Bitcoin had an increase of 411%, and I think this is something you do not want to miss out on, and that could possibly actually occur after we see this crossover on the bull market support band. So if we would head, for example, let's take a look, 411% towards the upside compared to where we are currently at right now, we would be heading towards a Bitcoin price at approximately $101,000, and I think this is for sure the price target that we are going to reach during the upcoming months, perhaps before the end of 2021 or at the beginning of the first quarter of 2022. And this 411% surge and BTC's price action is something I think is absolutely amazing. Of course, that was at the beginning of this year, and you can clearly see that right now this major surge towards the upside is just 106% left. So right now, I think this would be absolutely amazing if we could see a Bitcoin 100K getting reached. But what I think is even more important is that the bull market support band will be supporting us all the way towards that new all-time high that we will be creating on the Bitcoin chart. And what I think is even more important is that we are right now seeing a tradable pattern getting created on the 4-hourly time frame. I would like to discuss that pattern in just a few minutes. But what I think will be serving as a major level of support and also as a major, very important indicator that we might see a major surge in Bitcoin's price action is actually the crossover on the Bitcoin bull market support band. And that is why I am right now very, very happy that we are seeing this right away. Also, thank you very much, SR90, for watching this live stream. I really appreciate you being here. And if you would like to just give me a proposal if you would like me to take a look at a cryptocurrency of your own choice. So let's get a little bit further by taking a look at the 4-hourly time frame on another Bitcoin chart that I already opened up, and I will be disabling the bull market support band. The first thing I would like to discuss is actually the 20-week moving average. So SR90, I saw as well that you said, do you think ADA or Solana will go to the moon? That is something I would like to discuss after I did my Bitcoin predictions, but I will take for sure a look at ADA and Solana. So what you can clearly see on the 20-week moving average on the 4-hourly time, on the 4-hourly time frame is that we are right now actually breaking above the 20-week moving average. I think this is very important because it served as a minor level of resistance just for the past couple of hours. You could clearly see that we were not able to break above the 20-week moving average, and we right now saw a major increase in this price action of Bitcoin, breaking eventually above this 20-week moving average. For sure, right now it will be serving as a major level of support underneath us, but what I think is very important right now is that we see a close of the 4-hourly candle above this descending resistance line. So if we see this candle closing above this descending resistance line, I think we will for sure see as well a major increase in Bitcoin's price action, and that is something I do not want to miss out on. So in approximately 2 hours time, we will see this candle close, and that is something I'm personally waiting for and very pumped about. So for all of you watching the live stream right now, do not forget that I will discuss also just in a couple of minutes how I will be actually taking a look at how I will be approaching this trade and how you could possibly make the most amount of money and what the best entry point is going to be. So this being said, I will be disabling the moving averages. And what I would like to take a look at is actually right now the MACD. So the MACD is giving me a lot of confidence as well. You can clearly see that we saw a crossover occur just a couple of hours ago on the 4-hourly MACD. This is for sure very important and very significant. But as I said before during my videos, I would like to take a look at as well something even more important, and those are the time frames that are a little bit bigger and have more significance, such as the daily and the weekly time frame. So if we take a look at the daily time frame on the MACD, you can clearly see that the MACD started a downward momentum just a couple of days ago. Afterwards, it was not able to create an upward momentum. We are still inside of that previous crossover, and we are seeing a major decrease in Bitcoin price action. But what I think is of utmost importance is if you take a look at the weekly MACD, you could clearly see that we experienced a crossover just a week ago, and I think for sure this crossover will see a major surge in Bitcoin's price and will help as well to see a potential move towards the upside. So this looks to me very bullish right now, that we are seeing this weekly MACD right now, a crossover just approximately 2 weeks ago, and I think this is for sure something that will help right now to create even more momentum towards the upside. So if we go back towards the 4-hourly time frame, what I would like to discuss as well is something Jekisman told me, sorry for the pronunciation, I'm not very good at it, and that is actually the volume level. So what you can clearly see, I think this is something very good to know, is that once we saw this increase in Bitcoin's price action, we saw as well an increase in its volume. Lots of people were buying Bitcoin at that moment. On this period in time, you could see that the volume was quite, well, let's say, not busy at all. It was just very, very low volume, and this meant that a lot of people were actually just holding and no one was actually selling or buying their Bitcoin. So right now you can clearly see that we have seen a lot of sellers lately, but I think perhaps a lot of buyers might come in right now, and that we might see a major increase in Bitcoin's price action, and that I think this is very likely to occur. Also, you could see at this point in time a major spike in the people who wanted to actually accumulate more Bitcoin and decided to buy, and that is also why we saw this major increase in Bitcoin's price action. Afterwards, we saw a decrease, and also a lot of people actually selling their Bitcoin before we saw this major spike on today's on this 4-hourly candle, the latest 4-hourly candle. So for me personally, I think the volume is looking quite well right now. I do not think we are going to experience some major downward momentum due to the fact that the MACD is looking very good, if you ask me, and as well due to the fact that we are seeing this 4-hourly candle break above this descending resistance line. So this being said, I would like to also enable the relative strength index, the RSI. You might well know it as the RSI, and what you can clearly see right now is that we are right over here creating a very beautiful RSI pattern right in the middle, seeing an increase in its strength. And what I think is very good to know is that we still have a long way to go to break out above the dotted line on the upper area of the RSI, and that is for me very healthy due to the fact that this means we are still a long way to go before we will perhaps see a reversal and the price of Bitcoin beginning to decrease. So right now it's looking very good. And if we take a look at the chart as well, let's get a little bit clearer look to see if we are spotting any type of bullish or bearish divergence. You can clearly see we are not creating any type of higher low structure on the chart and lower low structure on the RSI. That is just clearly not there. And what I think is even more important is that we are not seeing any type of bearish divergence. You can clearly see that this is a lower high than the previous high that have been here on the chart, and you can clearly see that it has been as well as you can clearly see, a lower high than we have clearly seen before on the RSI. So these two highs right now are like right on the same level, but this is actually nothing I personally do think is bad right now for Bitcoin's price action, due to the fact that if we see right now this candle close above the descending resistance line, we might find support on top of it and break out towards the upside, and then at that point in time perhaps we might start creating a bearish divergence. But I think right now the most important thing is actually that we are able to increase and that we are not yet near to the upper part of the purple area of the RSI. So what will this potential breakout look like, and where could we possibly be heading towards, and where are there levels of major support and resistance? Those are the questions that I would like to answer right now, right away. If we see a breakout occur towards the upside, I think it will look like potentially very similar to this. This is an increase of approximately 8% or 7.5%, let's say 7.5%. And what I think is even more interesting is that we would be heading towards the 52.6K. If we head towards the 52.6K, I think this will be for sure a major increase in Bitcoin, and that will be one step closer towards this orange box that I've drawn above us. And this is a major level of resistance above us, and I think this is a level that you would like to surpass, find support on top because after that I think we will see an even greater increase in Bitcoin's price action. But for now on, I would like to take a look at what we are currently experiencing, and to be showing you the best possible way, I will be actually placing a Fibonacci retracement from its prior all-time high towards the current low that we saw during the past couple of months. So with this Fibonacci retracement being placed, I would like to take a look at where we could be possibly heading towards, and that is exactly above the 0.618 Fibonacci level. Sorry for that, guys. And that is at approximately $51,466. Sorry. You can clearly see that we would be able to break above it, perhaps go even further towards the upside, and afterwards see a decrease, find support on top of the 0.618 Fibonacci level before heading even further, and perhaps once again heading towards that major level of resistance at approximately $56,759 or at the 0.786 Fibonacci level. For sure, I think our potential breakout right now will just head towards the 0.618 level at 51k, and let's discuss the possible scenarios, how we will actually take a look at this trade and how we will actually trade this in the best possible way. So if you ask me personally, I would like to buy or actually enter this long position once we see Bitcoin actually retest the descending resistance on the next 4-hourly candle. Not why I do not want to actually enter the position right now is because this candle has only broken through the downward sloping resistance, but what I think is even more important is to see if the next candle will be able to find support on top of it, confirming this possible breakout towards the upside. So what I would clearly like to see is an entry point approximately around here at the price of $48,910. My stop loss would be placed at actually at this point in time, but the trade that I am right now taking, due to the fact that we are only seeing this increase of approximately, let's say, 7.5%, I would not like to actually take the risk by placing a potential stop loss of approximately 2.3%. I would rather place my stop loss right on top by placing it at the point in time where you could only have a loss of 2.37%. Of course, I will be also using leverage, but this would mean that the loss that I'm actually willing to take won't be as big as if I would place my stop loss actually underneath this upward sloping support. So this would be my stop loss for the people who would like to make this trading possibility. And lastly, what I would say would be my take profit. I'm someone who would like to take the most out of the trade, but what I as well would like to do is take a little bit of sleep tonight. So due to the fact that that could be also a potential risk that during while I'm asleep, we will reach a very high price on the Bitcoin price action, but I won't be able to actually close this by myself. I would like to actually select my take profit at this point in time, just above the 0.682 at perhaps $51,702. So this will be my trading setup for the upcoming trade, and I will be using a leverage of approximately 10 to 15%. Of course, also, if the circumstances begin to surge, I might adjust my leverage a little bit more. So far, this was what I wanted to discuss about Bitcoin and what the possible breakout is going to be. I really hope you enjoyed the content so far. And what I would like to do right now is actually to take a look at SR90's request to take a look at Cardano. So if we take a look at Cardano, you can clearly see that if we take a look at the previous momentum towards the upside, we have seen a major spike in Cardano's price action. Why I always place these orange boxes and I would like to extend them always is actually due to the fact that if we are going to see any type of bear market getting started after this major bull market, during the year of 2021, what I would like to be is actually be prepared to what major zones of support are going to be. I'm not saying that we might head all the way towards the $1.81 once again, but what I'm saying that is, if we do that, I will be able to actually visualize them and see that that will be the potential next great accumulation zone for Cardano. So clearly what we are forming over here, if you ask me, is this beautiful type of ascending triangle on the 4-hourly time frame. So is Cardano going to break out towards the upside? That is something that I would like to discuss just a little bit further on. But before doing so, I would like to place this trend line over here and the second one at this point in time. So what you can clearly see is that we are forming a ascending triangle by adjusting the lines just a little, and that we have seen already 2 touch points on this upward sloping support line, and we have clearly seen multiple touch points on this horizontal level of resistance, even 2 candles being able to close above this horizontal level of resistance, but unfortunately got rejected, and we saw multiple times that we were trying to break out above this horizontal level of resistance. To be able to see what's this possible, if we will be seeing this possible breakout occur, I would like to enable the EMA ribbon and as well afterwards the MACD. So the EMA ribbon on the 4-hourly time frame on Cardano looks very strong to me. You can clearly see we are not even once being able to break below the EMA ribbon after we saw this increase in its price action after the 20th of July. And the EMA ribbon has served as a major stronghold of support, and I think this will actually keep on doing its work as a major level of support, and that is very, very good to know. Also, just a little thing I wanted to say is thank you very much, Bloomtech, to join this live stream right now, and I'm happy you are right now watching, and I would like to discuss Ethereum for sure after I've done Cardano. So the EMA ribbon holding very strong, and what I think is even more important, that it will serve as a major level of support for the upcoming days. If we enable as well the MACD, you can clearly see that we are right now seeing a crossover on the MACD occur as well as we saw on the Bitcoin chart. And for me, Bitcoin is looking very bullish right now. So Cardano does look bullish to me too, especially because Cardano has the potential to outperform Bitcoin and most of the time has shown us that it is doing that very clearly. So for me right now, this crossover, very interesting to take a look at this crossover right now. Let's take a look if we saw a crossover on the weekly time frame. Yes, we did. We did actually see that approximately 3 weeks ago. And afterwards, we saw this major increase in Cardano's price action. And on the daily time frame, you can clearly see that after this slight crossover on the 30th of August, right now, just 2 days later, we are experiencing the possibility to see once again a crossover on the MACD and get even more upward momentum getting started. So this is, I think, a clear possibility that we won't be seeing any more momentum towards the downside and that we will start seeing momentum towards the upside once again on Cardano's daily MACD. So the MACD is looking very bullish to me right now, and I think it is clearly showing us that we might perhaps see a breakout above this horizontal level of resistance of this ascending triangle. Unfortunately, I would have liked to see a third retest of this upward sloping support line just to make this support line even more significant, but for sure right now this pattern does count. And I think if we see a eventual breakout towards the upside, it will still be very, very amazing and as well something you do not want to miss out on. The relative strength index, or RSI as you might know it as well, is actually not showing us any type of bearish divergence. You can clearly see that we are creating a lower high than our previous high, and that is also the case in the RSI chart. And we are seeing a lower high, a higher low on the RSI, and clearly we are seeing a higher low as well on the chart. So the RSI for me is personally looking very fine. And we are as well, something very important is that we still have a long way to go to break out above the dotted line on the upper part of the purple area. And that means that if we would like to see a breakout occur above this horizontal resistance, we still have enough place or enough space to actually break out and eventually see a downturn occur. But that is not the case right now, and right now I think it is looking very good and very bullish to me, and what I think is a potential breakout will be very likely. Let's take a look at the comments just for a moment. So Bloomsec, cool. Can you check Holo please? Great explanation, thank you very much SR19, and indeed nice. Any good entry for now? So right now I would like to discuss as well the entry of Cardano, but before doing so, if you are actually willing to take a look at an entry I just discussed on the Bitcoin chart, you have to just take a look at the previous minutes on the live stream before you joined us, because we discussed the breakout on Bitcoin. But right now I would like to show you as well what I would possibly do if I would like to trade Cardano at this point in time. So before, I would like to actually place my measurement, take a look at what the possible breakout is going to be by selecting the beginning of the horizontal resistance all the way towards the touch point with the ascending support line, and placing it on the upper part where we could perhaps see this 4-hourly candle break out through this horizontal resistance. If we take a look at what the possible breakout is going to be, this will be a breakout of approximately 16.6%, and of course this is something you do not want to miss out on, and we would be heading towards a price of Cardano of $3.40. To make things clear, what I think is very important is to take a look at Cardano, and even more important is to just not only take a look at Cardano right now, but at Cardano and where we could possibly find the next levels of support and if they will be significant. Therefore, I would like to place my Fibonacci retracement exactly like this by selecting it prior all-time high all the way towards the low that we are clearly seeing inside of this ascending triangle. Why I'm selecting this is due to the fact that we are right now trading above prior all-time highs, and that is why I'm actually right now choosing to place this Fibonacci retracement like this, so I will be able to see the extension levels above us. Clearly, if we see a breakout occur of 16.5%, we will be heading towards the $3.40, but we won't be seeing any type of possible support and resistance. Therefore, I think it is very likely that we will see a major spike and afterwards a decrease in our Cardano's price action, finding support perhaps on top of the $3.17 before heading even further. I think this will still be a major and very great potential move of approximately 10% towards the upside, and that could perhaps also be the breakout that we are going to actually see during the upcoming hours. But of course, it is very likely that we will only see that 16% breakout and eventually a type of decrease in its price action afterwards, due to the fact that it's not able to find support any time up and at any place in between. So for me, this is looking very good, and right now I would say that the next possible level of support where we're going to find support on top is going to be this $3.17 level for Cardano at this short period of time. So I will be placing right over here a horizontal ray just to take a look at what our possible level is going to be. I will be placing it like this, and afterwards I will be disabling the Fibonacci retracement just to make things a little bit clearer, and also to discuss the possible way how you could take a look at this trade and how you could possibly trade this pattern if we see a breakout occur above this horizontal level of resistance and a next candle finding actually support on top of it before seeing a major breakout occur towards the upside. So my entry would be very simple and very clear, and that is actually the entry at this point in time over here at approximately $2.91. So this would be my entry, and I like to also color my entries always with pink. If you have seen my Twitter channel, you can also clearly see that when I share my trading possibilities, I always do pink, red, and green. And also, if you do not follow me on Twitter, do not forget to hit that like button on Twitter and as well follow me over there. So this would be my entry at $2.19. And due to the fact that we're seeing a 10% increase, I think what I personally would have done as a level of a stop loss would be actually on top of this prior resistance. Why I'm choosing this prior resistance as my stop loss is actually due to the fact that you can clearly see that this was a major level of resistance at this point in time, but as well previously. And this is for me something very important due to the fact that I think if we break even further down below this level and we would re-enter this ascending triangle, I would not like to see my stop loss being placed at this point in time, for example, at $2.71, due to the fact that I think that is just a loss that is way too, that you could have prevented that loss if you would have placed your stop loss at this point in time. And therefore, I think this is a more safe way to actually trade this pattern. Also, my take profit would be actually very simple, and that would be at the orange level at $3.17. And this is just due to the fact that we are experiencing the first level of Fibonacci above us at the $1 at the $3.17 level, and that is also why I would like to actually place my take profit at this point in time, due to the fact that if we are not able to break out above it, we still might see a retest of that level and break out towards the downside afterwards. And I think you do not want to place your stop loss too high, otherwise you might not be able to actually take those profits. So right now, this would be my trading setup with an entry of $2.91, a stop loss at $2.83, and a take profit at $3.17. So thank you very much for watching this live stream so far. If you're liking the content, do not forget to give me a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't watched my latest video, do not forget to take a look at the Polkadot video that I made before this live stream, so you can be up to date about Polkadot as well. Right now, I would like to discuss Ethereum, actually, due to the fact that Ethereum was a coin that someone wanted me to take a look at right now, and we have seen a major increase in Ethereum's price action. For sure, I'm very pumped to see that after this major level of accumulation in between the two levels of Fibonacci at the 0.5 and 0.618, we eventually saw that major breakout above this horizontal level of resistance. For sure, this breakout has been absolutely incredible. It's almost a breakout of approximately, let's take a look, it has been 13.4%, sorry, 0.3%, and that is absolutely marvelous. Unfortunately, you can clearly see that the latest 4-hourly candle has been actually rejected by the 0.786 level. We were not able to actually break above this level of resistance, and right now we might see a downtrend getting started, or a decrease in XRP's price action. Very sorry, I'm just a lover of XRP, and this is why I made this mistake, but it's actually Ethereum. And I'm not saying this will actually occur due to the fact that we are seeing this very strong candle, a major candle in its size, and also due to the fact that we are not seeing any type of significant candles that are actually showing us that we might see a potential trend reversal getting started. Therefore, I would like to actually enable the MACD to take a look at where we could possibly be heading to. On the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that we are, well, if you ask me, not anytime near a crossover. We might not see a crossover occur during the upcoming hours. I think this if we are thinking about a crossover on the MACD, we should think about a crossover occurring tomorrow and not today, and perhaps tomorrow morning instead of right now or during the next upcoming 6 hours, let's say. So a crossover on the MACD, I think that won't be very likely today, and I think this major momentum towards the upside will be actually giving Ethereum strength to continue the uptrend where it's currently in. Personally, right now, what I'm doing is actually waiting for Ethereum to actually break this trend towards the downside, due to the fact that I'm willing to trade this pattern once we see a trend reversal occur and once we see a decrease in Ethereum's price action. Therefore, I would like to place this ascending support for right now, because if Ethereum breaks actually below this ascending support, I think it's very likely that we will be heading towards this 0.618 once again, finding support on top of previous major levels of resistance, and also a very nice trade that you can possibly make once we see a breakout occur below this ascending support. Right now, I think this won't occur. I think it's very likely that we might perhaps see Ethereum tomorrow morning breaking out above the 0.6786 level at $3,777 and heading even further up and eventually creating that trend reversal further in the future. And therefore, I am right now just carefully monitoring what Ethereum is actually doing. Also, I would like to take a look at the EMA ribbon. You can clearly see that if we take a look at the EMA ribbon, we have been able to break out above the EMA ribbon. We are getting supported by it before we saw this a major increase in Ethereum's price action. And what I think is very important is that if we see a breakout occur underneath this ascending support line, you would also very likely see a breakout occur underneath the EMA ribbon, perhaps once again breaking out below it and seeing several candles being quite getting rejected by it and finding it quite difficult to actually break above it before it does so and sees a major spike once again. So right now I'm not bearish on Ethereum. I'm just saying that I'm waiting for the trend reversal to take the opportunity to place a trade on Ethereum. So I'm very glad Ethereum is actually rising once again, and I won't, without a doubt, I won't actually be sad about this, but what I think is very important is that you would like to trade this either towards the upside or towards the downside. So let's take a look at the chat once again. Lucky, can you check YLD and SR90? Thanks a lot, Toro. And your thoughts on Sol? I would take a look at Sol as well. I know Sol was requested even before YLD, and that is why I would like to take a look at YLD. And can you take a look at YLD USDT trading view? So lastly, for Ethereum, I actually would like to discuss something more important, because we are right now in this major uptrend, and for the people who are actually right now trading this trend towards the upside, I would like to take a look at the Ethereum chart on the 1 hourly time frame. So on the 1 hourly time frame, you can clearly see that we have been rejected by this level a little bit further below, underneath the 0.786 Fibonacci at approximately $3,744, and you can clearly see that this second hourly candle is actually a major candle towards the downside. How it's currently looking to me, if I enable as well the MACD, you can clearly see that we saw a crossover once again occur. We saw even more momentum towards the upside. I think personally that we are actually going to be able to see a major breakout occur above the 0.786 level. And this is due to the fact that we are actually seeing on the 4 hourly time frame, especially Ethereum perform very well. Unfortunately, we are right now above the dotted line on the RSI on the 1 hourly time frame. Therefore, I think we might experience some slightly downward momentum during the upcoming hours, and we are not seeing any type of bullish or bearish divergence, so that is looking very good to me right now. So the bullish or bearish divergence is not something I'm right now very curious about, but what I think is very important is if we will be able to break out towards the upside. So on the immediate short term, my personal opinion on Ethereum is we might perhaps find a lot of resistance underneath the 0.786 level at $33,777. But right now we are not getting any type of let's say bull flag or any type of pattern that you can clearly actually discuss on the chart, and therefore I think it is very likely that we will perhaps see Ethereum not being able to break out above the 0.786 level. Very sorry, I'm right now just taking a look if we could perhaps consider the current Ethereum price as a ascending channel, but I would actually say we might, but then we would have, then I would like to say we are actually seeing a confirmation of a breakout above this ascending channel. Well, yeah, let's take a look. I would like to place this just lastly on the Ethereum chart before heading towards the Solana chart, and that would be this ascending channel, selecting it all the way towards this point in time over here, just like that. Yeah, well, you can clearly see I like to use the channel tool due to the fact that it is just, if you draw the lines by yourself, most of the times they might not be as or parallel to each other, and with this tool you can draw the perfect parallel channels towards the upside, either towards the downside or horizontal. And you can clearly see that this ascending parallel channel, we saw the breakout towards the upside, but we are right now re-entering this ascending resistance line. Perhaps we might just continue this trend towards the upside during the next upcoming hours, and therefore I think it might perhaps be very likely to see Ethereum right now head towards the 3,586 level, but eventually breaking out even further towards the upside if we take a look at the 4-hourly time frame and what the MACD is actually telling us. And the MACD is actually showing us that we are not anytime soon near a crossover, and I think this is something very good to know. And as well, if we enable the RSI on the 4-hourly time frame, it is heading towards the overbought area. So this being said, what I think personally right now is we might perhaps see a breakout above the 0.786, but I'm not saying we will be able to hold strong on top of it. Perhaps we might see actually a decrease and extra piece price action heading all the way towards the 0.618 level, and I think that would be very healthy actually, due to the fact that what was a major previous level of resistance, and that would be a major level of support right now. So that would be meaning we are creating a new higher low, and that is for me right now, just in the immediate short term, something very great to know. So far I would like to take a look at Solana, and that would be as well, unfortunately, the last coin I will be taking a look at right now. Very sorry, due to the fact that I actually have an appointment still tonight with a friend of mine. So I would have loved to actually keep on going with you guys, but I hope that you enjoyed the content so far. And if you did, do not forget to give me a thumbs up down below underneath this live stream, and as well watch today's video about Polkadot. So if we take a look at Solana. So Solana has been increasing lately very, very rapidly. We have seen this major spike in Solana's price action. Well, you can clearly see that we saw this major spike of approximately, I think it's actually unbelievable. This spike has been almost, sorry for this, you can't see the measurement, neither do I, of approximately 488% on Solana's price action, for sure. Absolutely incredible. And you can clearly see that we are right now actually getting rejected at this point in time, or we are trading on top and underneath the 2.618 level of Fibonacci. So yeah, what is our possible next target going to be? I think it is very likely that we will be heading towards the 3.618 Fibonacci level at 150 US dollars. But for sure, what I think is even more important is that we might perhaps see right now a healthy trend reversal occur. I'm not saying this will happen, but that's something I would like to figure out right now. Therefore, I would like to enable actually the daily time frame to take a look where we are currently at, to see how many candles we have been right now and how those candles look like. So we are not seeing any type of doji candle. I think that is for sure something very important, because if we see a doji candle, like for example, especially a negative doji candle, I would have said that we must have been very careful, due to the fact that if you see a negative doji candle or a positive doji candle even, you might see a trend reversal getting started, and I'm always very careful with those, due to the fact that you might see major momentum afterwards towards the downside. You can clearly see the MACD is looking very good on the daily time frame. We are not experiencing a crossover anytime soon. And what I think is also very important is something we discussed previously during this video, and that was actually the Bitcoin's price action. And we are right now seeing a crossover on the daily time frame by the bull market support band, and that will for sure help Bitcoin's price head towards the upside and increase exponentially. And if we take a look at the RSI, well, the RSI clearly on the overbought area on Solana. I think perhaps we might see once again the RSI wanting to re-enter the purple area, perhaps leading to a decrease in Solana's price action, especially due to the fact that if we take a look at the daily time frame, you can clearly see that we are finding quite difficult to actually break above this level at $2 and at $114.81. But if we take a look at previously, we were also quite a while underneath the 1.618 level before we were able to actually break out above it and head towards the level where we're currently at. So therefore, I think it might be able to continue with the trend what we are seeing right now, but we might see a slight decrease in its price due to the fact that we are seeing the RSI on the daily time frame on the overbought and a little bit overextended. Let's take a look at the RSI right now as well over here. The RSI is looking actually a lot better on the 4-hourly time frame. You can clearly see that it re-entered the purple area, and therefore it might have a potential to break out towards the upside once again and see an increase in Solana's price action. I would like to actually take a look at Solana and measure a possible pattern, but I would like to do this on the 1-hourly time frame. If we take a look at the 1-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that we are creating a type of, I would like to say, yeah, well, it depends a little, but I would like to say actually a symmetrical triangle. If we place it from this point on all the way towards here, but I don't think this symmetrical triangle is actually very well placed due to the fact that we have only seen like 2 touch points on the we have seen multiple touch points on the ascending support, but we only have seen 3 touch points on this descending resistance line. Yeah, for sure, this could be a possible breakout above the 2.618 level, but if we see this breakout occur, it will be a breakout heading towards the price of approximately $136 level. This would be an increase of in total 17%, and that will be for sure a major pump towards the upside. Perhaps it might even continue with its current mood, but of course you will have to take into account that we have seen this major increase in Solana's price action, and that eventually you have to be very careful to when this will end. So that is why I'm right now just very careful taking a look at what could possibly look at right now. But if we take a look at the daily time frame, you can clearly see that we might expect a decrease in Solana's price action. So perhaps we might see a breakout underneath this ascending support, and once we see a breakout above this ascending support, let's draw it a little bit more clear, we might see a major decrease in Solana's price action, and that could perhaps lead to a major trend reversal, heading once again towards previous levels of resistance, perhaps once again heading towards the retest of the 1.681 level of Fibonacci at $80. So thank you very much for watching the video so far. If you like the content, do not forget to subscribe down below. But as well, what I would like to show you before ending this live stream is actually the EMA ribbon and the moving averages on the daily time frame. The EMA ribbon is clearly supporting Solana for quite a while now, and if we see a breakout towards the downside occur underneath this ascending support, we might experience some major price action towards the downside, of a major decrease of Solana's price action, and starting to create lower highs once again, heading towards that $80 level. So I'm not saying this will occur, but I think this could possibly happen due to the fact that we are seeing that overextended RSI on the daily time frame and also that overextended MACD on the daily time frame, and that could perhaps lead to a trend reversal on this chart. Let's take a look at right now, lastly, the moving averages. And if we take a look at the moving averages, if they line up correctly, you can clearly see that there are all three underneath us. They are serving as major levels of support. You could clearly see in the past that Solana got supported by those, and they are right now trading at approximately $60. So all three moving averages, the 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day moving average, will serve as major levels of support. But I think during the next upcoming weeks and days, they won't have a lot of significance due to the fact that they are far below us and that they are not actually levels of support that are right now actually going to be retested in the immediate short term. Lastly, I wanted to thank you once again for watching this live stream, and I really hope you enjoyed the content so far in my channel. If you do, do not forget to give me a thumbs up and also leave a comment down below. Thank you very much for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye, guys.